Mon, unang-una, the BIR says there are no more extensions for this. This will be effective July 15. They have already given a 90-day grace period. And they argue that this will level the playing field with online and brick-and-mortar stores. But the chief economist says that this could lead to higher prices and fewer choices. Ano ba yung, what are your predictions? What will be the effects on the market when this tax comes into play?
Well, technically, it's effective already.
Oo nga pala.
Yeah,
July
as
17
we
na pala.
mentioned before, when they initially released the regulation, the intention is clearly good, but there are unintended consequences. Number one, a lot of our online sellers are really not registered, or they are still not in the formal economy. And now that this will be imposed, it's like they will be penalized for not being ready or for not having that financial capacity to actually formalize their business. So ang lagi naman nating sinasabi, hindi naman masama na i-implement yung batas. Although let's clarify that this is an expansion of the scope of the withholding tax. Ibig sabihin, wala namang bagong batas eh. Hindi naman talaga sila tinataksan. Ang sinabi lang ng BIR, dahil hindi namin kayo makolektahan, we are now asking the online platforms to actually do it for us. So they're passing actually the burden to the online platforms and the digital service providers. So I think what is necessary here is for them to be more considerate in terms of assisting our online sellers to make sure na in case they will not be able to comply, sana naman hindi kagad patawan ng mga penalties kasi the penalties are very high. So we're talking about 25% surcharge, 12% interest, and up to 50,000 penalty. And there's a possibility na pwede din sila makasuhan ng tax evasion if they start earning money or generating sales at hindi pa sila registered. So medyo harsh talaga yung batas. Sana yung harshness na, di ba, nagagamit na sa mga talagang hindi nagbabayad ng tax. But those who are still starting, that I think is something that we have to be more considerate.
Pero Mon, aside from the fact no, na ipapataw nga nila to at medyo biglang, wow, andito na yung deadline. Apart from that, hindi ba naman fair na patawan rin talaga ng tax ang online sellers? To begin with, 1% lang naman ang withholding tax. Hindi siya ganun kataas compared sa brick and mortar sellers or even mga normal employees or normal workers.
As I have said, I think it's literally making the playing field fair or patas para sa brick and mortar. But again, ilan lang naman yung kumikitang milyon-milyon. Sana nga tinarget na lang muna nila yung mga high-earning na online sellers, di ba? Kasi yung mga maliliit, tatamaan din sila. So yun lang naman yung point natin. Yes, it will make the playing field fair, but it will have an added cost, unnecessary cost dun sa mga hindi ready. And let's not forget, under the train law, required din ng mga online sellers to issue electronic invoice. And they haven't talked about it kasi hindi pa ready yung electronic invoice system ng BIR. Pero ang tagal na ng train law. Mandatory din na pagka online seller ka or nasa e-commerce business ka, hindi manual receipt ang dapat i-issue mo kung hindi electronic invoice.
Well, the reason, Mon, that a lot of the sellers, the online sellers, are not registered is because they're small-time sellers, right? They're people who are just trying to do side hustles to earn extra income, a little bit here, a little bit there. What broader impact do you think this might have? Will it discourage people? Will it drive people underground? Ano kayang unintended consequences?
Actually, ang pinaka-masaklap na mangyayari dito, magka-cash na lang yung mga tao at gagamit na ibang platform. Like those who are selling through TikTok, practically hindi siya covered kasi they are just marketing it tapos pwede nilang gawing cash on delivery. So pag cash on delivery, hindi pa rin makakapture ng BIR. Or yun na nga, mas magiging risky para sa both seller and buyer kasi iiwasan nila yung platform dahil babantayan siya ni BIR. But again, ang objective natin dito is to level the playing field. But in the end, nagkakaroon siya ng unintended consequences. In fact, ang proposal ko before, final tax. Kapag ka below 10 million, for example, na sales lang yung online sales mo, transactions mo, dapat nag-withhold na lang ng final tax para wala nang kahit anong compliance yung mga online sellers na maliliit. So again, the threshold may vary. Pero kasi ngayon, sabi nga, is 1% lang naman. Pero kasi ang consequence nun, first they have to be registered, which should be the case. But a lot of them are really so small that it will be so costly or not
Tedious.
easy for them to actually go through the process. Pero again, yung malalaki, sila dapat yung tutukan. Sila dapat yung talagang bantayan. Kasi ang dami dyan, diba? Yung iba nga, sobra pa yung publicity na they become a billionaire because of online selling. Sila talaga dapat makolektahan ng tax. And 1% is not enough. They should really be paying everything.
Yeah.
12% VAT, that 35% income tax for personal. Kasi sabi nila, mayaman sila eh. Diba? So, but I
Pero
don't think they're paying taxes.
Right. Mon, hindi sapat yung 500K, there is some sort of threshold there. I was just wondering kung sa mental math mo, sapat na ba yung 500,000 to shield yun nga yung mga smallest of the small, kung baga na sellers?
Actually, ang reference nila doon is yung 250,000 exemption under trade law. Kasi diba, ang sabi, 1% of 1/2 of gross remittance. So, ibig sabihin, minultiply lang nila sa 2 yung income tax exemption threshold ni trade law, which is kapag kumita ka ng 250,000 pesos, exempted pa sa income tax. So, since 1/2 lang naman yung i-withhold, so kung 500,000, ang 1/2 nun is 250,000, dapat wala pang withholding kasi under trade law, exempted pa siya sa income tax. But again, we just want to educate din the public, yung mga maliliit na online sellers. If I were you po, bago po kayo magrehistro sa BIR para hindi kayo mamoblema dito, magrehistro muna kayo sa negosyo, sa negosyo centers ng DTI. Sa negosyo centers, you can avail of the BMBE, Income Tax Exemption under Barangay Micro Business Enterprise. I don't want to sound like ayoko makakolekta si BIR, pero hindi kayo dapat yung hinahabol ni BIR. So panawagan po sa lahat na maliliit na online sellers, yung malalaki, huwag kayo makisali. Yung maliliit na online sellers, huwag po kayo magrehistro sa BIR nang hindi nyo ina-avail yung income tax exemption under BMBE sa negosyo centers po ng DTI. Nationwide po yan. Pwede din po online. So please apply muna ng exemption bago mag-apply sa BIR kung hindi pa po kayo rehistrado para hindi po kayo makisali sa gulo na to. Because at the end of the day, this is what I see. Because hindi maayos yung sistema, lahat nadadamay. Ang daming hindi nababayad pero hindi nila makolektahan. So they're being strict and it's applied to all. So ganun yung nakikita kong problema dito.
Okay,
Right.
Mon, what will be the challenges of applying this new tax? You already mentioned na baka dumami yung mga mag-black market. Tama ba ang pagkakaintindi ko doon?
Yes.
Bukod doon sa TikTok, meron din tayong Facebook Marketplace where scams
Exactly.
abound.
Mga carousel, ganyan.
Yeah, and bukod sa online shopping platforms, I believe what's included here are also digital food and delivery, including booking, accommodations, and all of those. Kaya bang habulin ng BIR yan at paano yun? Lahat ng platforms, ibig sabihin, iisa-isahin nila?
Actually, medyo ambitious yan because right now, we are unable to collect taxes from tech companies who are not registered in the Philippines. And most of these booking platform are not registered in the Philippines. So how do they collect? Like Facebook. So now we are talking about Booking.com, Airbnb. So most of them are not registered in the Philippines. So again, suntok sa buwan yung ginawa nila. But regarding the other implication, ako ang nakikita ko pang isang negative implication nito is it will discourage the use of digital transaction or money. Instead na gumamit sila ng
Go back to
digital
cash.
platforms, yung mga GCash,
Yeah.
Paymaya, magka-cash na lang sila. Kasi yung cash hindi
Right.
matatax ni BIR.
Yeah. Mon,
So
sorry.
again, instead of us moving forward, imbis na progressive tayo, nagtatago at mag-underground ngayon yung
Right.
mga tao.
Right, Mon, sorry, I know you have to go very quickly. You have class pa, but I can't let you go without asking this question. You've been
Sige lang.
holding
Ma'am, kinausap yung teacher.
you've been holding international road shows all over the world, Asia, US, Europe,
Yes.
trying to convince foreign investors to come and invest in the Philippines, do business. You're talking about the ease of paying taxes law. What has the reception been like so far? Ano yung, what kind of feedback are you getting?
Yeah, we're happy to share that the Philippine embassies, the consulate, the Philippine Trade and Investment Centers, and the foreign chambers help us in doing our roadshow more than 15 countries, US, Asia, Europe, even here in London, UK. And unfortunately, I have to take a study leave. But you know what is compelling, and I hope that our government is listening. We cannot keep inviting our foreign investors if we do not improve our system. Everyone is complaining about BIR, the VAT refund, the BIR audit. This is across all countries. In Asia, in US, in Europe, foreign companies, foreign investors, they are complaining about their VAT refund. They're complaining about the unnecessary, costly BIR audit. So we are proposing now, and thank you to Senator Gatchalian, in the Senate version of our Create More bill, they have inserted already the removal of the VAT refund processing from BIR. Medyo, hindi naman hopeless, pero close to. Kailangan talaga alisin na sa BIR, then gawing electronic so that it will be moot and academic. Once the VAT were paid, the government is obliged to refund it to our foreign investors. Wala dapat dahilan na may bura yung invoice, kulang yung dokumento. Those are petty concerns. And we're talking about billions of investors.
Right.
Japanese, Europeans, they're all complaining. Germans, lahat, everywhere. And I'm not saying this because I want to criticize the government. No, they are the one criticizing us.
Yep.
And I receive all this feedback. So our proposal is already there. I hope we pass it. We take it seriously. BIR should be controlled. They should be collecting from the tax evaders. Bakit may nahabol yung mga may tax exemption?
Yep.
Kung hindi legit yung tax exemption nila, penalize BOI and PESA.
Yeah.
But if they have legit tax exemption, don't bother them. For the MSMEs, don't bother them because even if you bother them, you won't be collecting billions of taxes. Habulin nyo si Parmali, habulin nyo yung mga malalaking kumpanya na hindi nagbabayad ng buwis. And of course, risk-based audit. Let's stop this random shenanigan audit.
Yeah.
It should be based on risk. Yung high risk lang ang ina-audit. Huwag yung buksan ng libro ng lahat ng kumpanya. Nobody wants to do business anymore in the Philippines, and yet we are still helping to promote the Philippines. Everyone is going to Vietnam. Let's wake up. Everyone is going to Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia. Number 6 po tayo in
Right.
terms of FDIs. That is after all the world trips of the president.
Right.
So we are helping the president. We are helping the government. Sana naman the government will help our country.
Yeah.